welcome to Telly Talk. I'm Liv.
And I'm Ben.
And on this episode, you'll hear our carefully considered and not at all random thoughts on a show we like. There will be spoilers.
We're giving ourselves an age rating of 15 and above, but you're welcome to make up your own mind. Listener discretion is advised.
So, after a substantial break, we are returning and we are talking about Oak Island. Or is it called The Curse of Oak Island?
It's called The Curse of Oak Island.
Yeah.
And this is, inexplicably, episode 1 of season 13. And it's called The Comeback.
So, for a bit of context, we have watched every episode. But we didn't start 13 years ago. We started 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Something like that.
We binge watched it to catch up.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, not a lot happened.
No.
So this is going to be, we're going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting here.
The thing is, I love watching Oak Island. We started watching it, and I think it was just before COVID. So it started and it kept us going through week by week, watching it. We've watched it with my dad as well. And it's really nostalgic for me, even though it's been quite a short-term thing. I love it.
It's nostalgic for COVID times, which is a thing.
Well, it's that coziness, you know, I don't know, and it always comes out around my birthday, so we watch it and I'm like, oh, I'm so excited.
You're doing a lot of we there. I think that's you.
Is it just me?
I'm like, yeah, this again. Good.
I love Oak Island, and I love the premise. Hidden treasure. I mean, who doesn't love that?
Well, I know who does love it. The Laginas.
Yes.
So, yeah, we're back. So, if you're not familiar with Oak Island, we'll have to
There is an island.
Could it be? Yeah, so there's an island in Nova Scotia in Canada where the word over the years has been that there's a secret buried treasure on there of indeterminate form, makeup, whatever. But there was a pit on there where people dug and they found layers of logs and then a 90-foot stone at 90 foot deep, which when they removed it, loads of water flooded in. And loads of people over the years have tried to...
200 years of treasure hunting.
200 years of treasure hunting, finding basically naff all.
Except in series one or two, it turned out that one of the first treasure hunters in that group of 3 found 3 treasure chests and they took one each.
Yeah.
So
it might be found. Yeah, and basically, like 6 people have died, documented, looking for it. And the Lagina brothers, Rick and Marty, have bought the island at piecemeal over the years. And they are in charge of what they call the Fellowship of the Dig, which is now like a bajillion people.
Well, the island is divided into different lots. There's about 20 different lots. So when you say they've been buying them piecemeal, they bought sort of 5 lots, then another 2. They've got some partners in this who own some of the lots.
Yeah.
And one of the sections we're going to be talking about today is Lot 5. They acquired that 2 years ago.
Yeah, that seems to be the junk site where loads of stuff
Lots of archaeology there.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
So yeah, this episode was the first of the new season. So like, it's everyone convening and going, "Hey, we're back! I remember this place. Ooh,
yeah. What are we going to do this season?"
Yeah, and every year the people that make up the Fellowship of the Dig increase. To this point, it's almost comical in its size. And I'm looking at the back going, "Who are these people? I don't remember them." And yeah, it's fascinating. But
well, do you remember the war room? The original war room was like a room in a shed. It was
a
very
cupboard.
It was very dark, and there was like 5 of them. And now it's huge. They redid the war room about 6 years ago. It's nice, modern, bright, airy, and they've got loads of people in there.
It's because it's part of the Oak Island Interpretive Centre, which is their fancy way of saying the Oak Island Museum or storage facility. Because they do tours.
This was a different building.
No, it's now part of. So they do the war room when they have their chats, but the bit where they all sat at the beginning of this episode, because it's got like 11 billion people in it, that is the Oak Island Interpretive Centre. It comes up on the ident.
Oh, I am clearly just so enthralled in watching it, I'm not looking at the little instructions on where they are.
Charles Barkhouse, the Oak Island historian, who's looking more and more soul-destroyed every episode now, he does tours in the off-season, so you can actually pay to have a guided tour of Oak Island and see all the holes they've dug.
You say he's looking, whatever you said, But actually, again, over COVID, when they got shut down, he did some amazing research which sent them on this whole new spin. What? I love Oak Island.
It's amazing the perspective difference. You say amazing research, I say a load of old nonsense.
Right.
Which one was it this time? Templars, the Portuguese, the Spanish, the British?
They were Portuguese Templars.
Right, okay. Or the Knights of Malta, which is like another name for it. Offshit. Oh my goodness. Wasn't it Captain Kidd's Treasure another time?
No.
When is it Aliens?
Stop it.
There's a lot of crossover with other History Channel shows. So you've had like Dr. Travis from Skinwalker Ranch on, and he's done his astrophysicist malarkey on there at some point as an expert as
Has
well.
he?
Yeah, many seasons ago now.
Oh, before we knew him from
But yeah,
Skinwalker.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we watch all of this junk. we watch Skinwalker Ranch. We love a bit of Blind Frog Ranch. There's a
Yeah.
lot of ranches.
Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, this season we get introduced to all of the new people and we go, yeah, we did loads last season even though we found nothing. And we get straight into it. And they're digging, they're drilling, they're boreholing.
At the Money Pit site.
Playing the classics.
Mm-hmm. So the Money Pit was lost years ago because of all the cave-ins and whatnot. So they don't exactly know where it is. So now that whole area on quite a raised bit of ground is called the Money Pit.
You say because of cave-ins. It was because a guy called Robert Dunfield decided to dig a massive, basically destroy the island and dig as far deep as he could before it then all collapsed in on itself.
That was in the 80s, yeah. That was before the Canadian government got involved and restricted everything.
Essentially the equivalent of dropping a big bomb on the island and going, yeah, I don't know where anything is now.
So they're looking for the Money Pit, they're looking for the treasure. This season they believe that the treasure has fallen down, that they've had it within their grasp, and it's fallen down into a naturally formed chamber, which they are calling
The Solution Chamber.
the Solution Channel. It's huge, right under the bedrock, so they have to go partly through the bedrock into the limestone, and then the limestone and water has mixed, created this cave system. And then there's more bedrock below that. So they are now drilling down into that solution channel, trying to find hints of treasure.
Now, listeners, you might think that sounds like a load of waffly old bullshit, but it's for real facts, yo. They've been down in it and stuff with a drill.
Yes, and they've painted pretty diagrams for us to look at on the telly.
They have. And I, as a cynic, might be tempted to suggest that they needed an excuse to go, well, we've drilled a shitload down to where we thought bedrock was, and there's nothing. And they needed to come up with another excuse to have another lucrative season. But that would be far too cynical, even for me.
Well, they have done scientific water testing, which suggests that there is still a source of treasure in the water.
Yeah, and to be fair, it was with proper scientists, not, as I'm sure you're imagining, someone just licking the water and going, tastes of gold!
Yeah. No, proper scientists, proper tests. We're just not entirely sure of the accuracy because the more they tested it, the less there was.
So I'm sure the question for everyone who hasn't watched the episode is, what happened with the drilling, Liv? Well, I can tell you. They drilled 2 holes.
These are just boreholes, because last season we ended and they were putting big caissons down. We're back to just quite small boreholes. What are they, 8 inches
Yeah,
in
they're
diameter?
called boreholes because they're boring.
Right.
They're not. So they are drilling to try and get to the solution channel, which starts at 178 foot down. So the first hole, they don't really find much. They hit something hard at 188 foot, then they drill through it, then they get to bedrock, and they go, oh, shucks, I was convinced we were going to find money in this one. So they then drill a second borehole, and this one gets slightly more results.
Yeah, well, I just want to point out that as they go, 10 foot by 10 foot, maybe even less than that, they look at the core that's come out, and they sort of dig through it, look for metal, look for any hints of wood, anything that might be in it that would tell them that activity was there. So it takes them a long time to do this and to go through the whole process.
It does, and usually quite a large team of them.
Yeah.
So in the second hole, halfway through, they have metal stuck in the borehole.
Yeah, they can't get the core out.
And it turns out it's a 2-inch casing from an old drill hole. So they drilled and found a drill hole.
Yes, which I thought, oh no, that's a nightmare, and that means there's nothing there. They were very excited about this and thought that it probably meant that there was something there.
That's because they actually found something that wasn't slush or bedrock.
Yeah, the metal detector was going crazy.
Yeah. Hey bro, I hear you like boreholes, so I put a borehole in your borehole. And then they found more slush at the end, and they took a sample to analyse it, which we haven't found the results of yet. So you can look forward to that next week.
Woohoo!
So, and that was the money pit drilling. Now, this isn't how it chronologically happened on the episodes. They jump between different areas of the island as you go through. So we've handily grouped them so that you've got a nice summary of each section. So we're now going to move over to what's called the spoils. So all of the stuff they pulled out of the ground
From the caissons, the mass. How many caissons did they do last season?
In infinite amounts.
4, 5, something. Loads.
So when they drill or dig, the stuff that was where the drill went has to come out, and they chuck that on the ground, and then later on they get Gary Drayton, the British metal detecting expert, to run his metal detector over it and shout excitedly when it goes beep.
Yeah.
To try and see if they missed anything.
His accent is interesting though. He's British, but sometimes I'm like,
don't you love a
where
good
was that
pooter? So they find an old pin. And handily, one of them, and I've written this down, says, it's a cribbing spike for building cribbing.
Helpful.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. It was just like, cheers.
So I guess cribbing is the stuff that they would have used to shore up the digs over the years to make sure the tunnels that they're digging safe.
It's just a spike it's basically like a nail that's
big metal. Well, it's really big though.
Yeah.
It's like a foot long, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's
So
just
when you say nail, people might be imagining that you put in the wall to hang a clock.
It's a big rusty bit of metal, and they get very excited inexplicably.
Yeah.
Even though they found, 1,000 of these things now.
Yeah, yeah.
At least it wasn't an ox shoe.
Yeah. I found this bit a bit boring because,
Join me. Even
these are just piles of dirt, and again,
it's all just piles of dirt.
Stop it, they're not. But these are. And years ago, Gary Drayton was prevented from digging because of the Canadian government. You had to have a license to be able to dig, so he just scans and then puts a little flag or digs his heel in and says, there, dig there. And then someone who's allowed does the digging. But this stuff's already been dug out.
Yeah, so this is fine.
But he still doesn't do the digging.
And of course, they've already scanned it once. Because when they dug it out, they then scan it and go through it. So this is like...
And
really
they ran it through that sorter. Yeah.
So this is basically them acknowledging, look, we are bad at this, so we probably missed some stuff. And, why not?
Just do it again.
And lo and behold, when they're scanning later, they find a bit of a tool. And I'm not referring to one of the gentlemen from the show. I just mean a literal bit of a tool. And they think it's a chisel.
It looks very nondescript to me.
And whenever they find a bit of what they assume to be a tool, immediately they're always like, oh yes, that will have been a tunnel-making tool.
Or something from a ship.
Yeah, if they're in the marsh or the bog.
The swamp.
The swamp, that's the one, where they reckon that a whole ship was sunk in there or buried or whatever. They go, oh yes, that is a bit of wood from a ship or a treasure chest. They love a treasure chest item, don't they?
Oh yes.
But they take this chisel, and in air quotes, and analyse it with their special machines, and they determine that it's from the 1700s, which is very much their sort of key point, because like the mid-1700s was when searching started.
Mm-hmm. So, you said the machine, but usually you like to give details on the machine and its make and model.
The Skyscanner 42,000 with its pink radiation in the illustrations. It's very important. It's really funny. You can always tell when Gary's been sponsored with a new metal detector because they say the full name about 5 times and then they never reference it again. But they've obviously got a contract.
Yeah.
And they always mention the name of the machines and all of that. And it's very fancy. So, take a shot whenever that happens kind of thing. But that's the spoil. Sorry to spoil it for you.
What's the next topic?
Lot 5.
Oh, lot 5. Yeah, so this is the archaeology.
Yeah, this is where the proper stuff happens.
So they bought this lot 2 years ago, and there was a massive depression in the ground, almost like, well, I suppose it was spherical, wasn't it?
It was.
It was the bottom half of the sphere, semi-spherical.
It was a round divot in the ground with some rocks.
Quite big, 13 foot, I think it was in diameter.
Yeah.
Which had Masonic or what's the other word?
Templar.
Yeah, Templar, meaning 13, very important.
Because as you'll know, no other organisation in the world uses a circle. It's a very rare shape.
Anyway, the guy who used to own this lot had an archaeologist come and look at it when he was gifted it. And the archaeologist was like, yeah, weird, dunno, and moved on. That same archaeologist
Laird Niven
is now here going, this is really cool, let's dig it up. And they're finding all of this stuff. And it's really interesting. It's a really interesting part of the island.
Can you tell that this is the bit that Liv's really into? Everything else, she's like, the drilling's cool and whatnot, but now she's rattling off facts, history.
Well, they're not finding very much at the money pit, whereas at Lot 5, they're finding quite a lot because they think that this is where they were living. The people the depositors who built the pit and deposited the treasure, plus searchers have used it over the time. And they're starting to think that this is a generational thing.
Yeah.
That the pit was dug over hundreds of years, used for hundreds of years, because they're finding a lot of Roman treasure on the island as well. And then
A lot. A couple of things.
well, it was quite good for Roman treasure all the way in Canada. Anyway, so yeah, this is an interesting part of the island.
Yes. And it's interesting as well because you kind of know you're going to find some stuff around here. So last season, Gary Drayton, our main expert in metal detecting, his daughter joined the team. Katya. And I thought it was interesting that for Lot 5 scanning, they've got Katya doing the scanning and David Finetti, one of the young cousins or nephews or whatever of the Laginas there. And it felt like it was them giving them a win, like the next generation's here, because we're not going to find it while we're alive, so we need to hand it down to them, bring them all in. And to be fair, they find a fastener, which they immediately go, this is almost certainly to do with treasure.
It was probably on a treasure box.
I will give you this. Katya does not fall far from her dad's tree, does she? She's like, yep, this is off of a treasure chest, probably from the blah, 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 blah. Whatever you want to hear, good times. Top pocket find, all the catchphrases. But then they find another bip, but it's too near the archaeological dig. So this time they have to get an archaeologist to come and stand there to go, yes, you can dig that. They don't get the archaeologist to dig it. Well, she does in the end, doesn't she? Because she's like, oh, hang on, that's very deep. It's in situ. I need to get in there with my trowel and brush. They find an iron object stuck under some tree roots, and then they have to get the archaeologist to dig it all out. And when they eventually do, they find some glass. And I'm like, I ain't sticking my hand in there. There's broken glass in there. An iron bar and some Staffordshire slipware.
Which is pottery.
Yes. And that means it's only like from oldie times. So they get very excited about that.
Well, 1680 to 1760?
Something like that. But Laird, the head archaeologist, gets to show off his chops for it because the other archaeologist is like, oh, I don't know what this is. And he goes, I know what that is. It's a Staffordshire slipware from blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, you enjoyed that. You got to be like, big dog.
Yeah. I think partly I like this archaeology section because we get more women involved. The rest of it is all old white men. And here we get more diversity in the people involved.
To be fair, as the aforementioned David Finetti, there's also some younger white men as well. But yeah, also it's got more of an air of actual, real, proper grown-up stuff as opposed to just going, drill a hole there and see if there's treasure.
And then it's very random. I know they've got this grid going back to the money pit, but like they're just still choosing random
there's
spaces.
Not even like a uniform thing. It's just like over there and over there and over there.
No wonder they haven't found anything.
I think there's other reasons they haven't found anything. Like the last big find, we were talking about this, the last big find that they had was like this lead cross that Gary and...
Whoa.
Yes, Gary and Rick found on the beach. But that was in 2017. That's 8 years ago.
Yeah.
When does time go? But yeah, so they also find a blue bead. They find loads of beads in Lot 5, don't they?
Well, you say loads. I think this is the fourth.
Still more things than, by comparison to what they find everywhere else.
Yeah, but it's
loads.
Significantly less beads than at Blind Frog Ranch.
That's true.
They find loads of beads.
To be fair, Blind Frog Ranch fits in one season what would cover about 5 or 6 in Oak Island.
Yeah.
But no one, as far as I'm aware, from Oak Island has been arrested between seasons. But, who knows? Jack wasn't here. Who knows?
He was here.
No, Jack wasn't here. They mentioned him because he was busy.
Oh. I thought, oh, maybe it was the next time I saw him.
Yes, that will have been. But it did seem to lack something without Jack there. His, like, Jack Russell Terrier-esque enthusiasm was lacking.
He's very enthusiastic.
Yeah, he carries a lot of the energy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And Gary.
Yeah, in a different way.
Yeah. And that's kind of it for Lot 5 this episode. Mm-hmm. So the final section that we have is the expert input. And if you can't hear it, I'm doing air quotes. Because this is where all the crackpot mad people show up and go, I think it was space aliens. I think it was the Aztecs, or whatever. And this time it's a little bit more close to home, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, it's Steve Salomon, who is a member of the Archibald family, who were involved quite heavily in previous digs. And he recounts to us a hitherto unknown story, which 13 seasons in, I feel like we've probably
this is so annoying when they do this.
Yeah.
And they did this with the garden pit too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you just notice something and then you're like, oh, they haven't told us about that. And then they're like, oh, 4 years ago we did this. Well, you didn't put it in the show.
Well, they have to keep holding stuff back to keep you coming back each season.
Unbelievable.
So, yeah, apparently there was one of his ancestors, someone Pit Blado, which is a proper edgelord name. I'm Pit Blado. He was a foreman on a dig, and they purportedly hit a wooden box-like object underground, drilled through it, and then when they pulled the auger up...
Then it went through more wood,
Yeah.
then it went back to another thing, and then through more wood, so they think it was 2 crates stacked on top of each other.
They don't necessarily say it as much, but the picture that they put up on the screen
I love
very
those animations,
clearly...
they're very helpful.
Yeah, it's always lots of gold. And then when the auger came back up, he was observed, this Pit Blado fellow was observed grabbing something off the auger and sticking it in his pocket, and then he didn't show up to work for the next day. And Steve Salomon says that he's had an object passed down to him that purportedly is the thing that Pit Blado took from the auger, and it was only an almost perfectly intact Portuguese silver coin that's a bit bent, and so that means it must have been on an auger, because an auger gets hot.
Yeah, so the theory is that it bent the metal of the coin.
Proof! And they're talking about how it's in such pristine condition because it's been kept carefully all these years.
Yeah, because it's now in a little plastic tub surrounded by foam.
A coin case.
A coin case.
Yes. And so they're like, yeah, that's amazing. That's proof. This is the one thing. Because Rick, one of the Laginas, always talks about the one thing to prove it. And so Steve Salomon here is giving it Billy Big Bollocks. He's really giving it a big un.
Well, the Laginas are like, this is cool and everything, but we need to test it in our metal tester things.
And I'm like, the one time that they're like, we need scientific rigour here, normally they'd see like a tiny bit of wood and go, this was obviously from a ship, we have proved it! But no, but they do test it. They test it in their fancy WYSIWYG machine that blasts it with various coloured...
The Sky Scan.
4053 with its... I think this one had rainbow-coloured radiation. And it proves to be a real silver coin from Portugal... dated 1367 to 1383.
Very early.
Yeah. And to be fair, that's when it was minted. So obviously you don't know how like it exists after that point.
Yes, of course.
Because we found it.
It exists right now in 2025.
Oh, and Judy Rudebush, who is like usually very quiet, she chips in and goes, and if you look on there, there's a Templar cross. And I'm like, oh good, of course there is.
She's one of the archaeologists, isn't she?
I don't really know what she is. She's the Templar cross pointing out lady. She's just there to point out Templar stuff. So they get very excited that there's Templars, and they're like, oh, knowing looks, and like, oh, Templars again. Oh. I'm like, yeah, but you thought it was the Aztecs like 2 seasons ago, so... But that's kind of it for the episode. Templars got a good mention right at the end there. You got to sneak them in.
It was a really long episode as well.
It was an hour and a half long one, so they fit a lot of nothing into that nothing.
Don't forget the advert time too, so it's even longer.
Yeah, that's true. It's like 2 hours total.
Yeah.
I just blank out the adverts. Zone out. Let's chat shit about this while it's on. But yeah, it's a classic start to an Oak Island. They sort of hit their classic things of like, we're drilling here, we're doing archaeology over there, we've got this mad expert here, but he's got a bit more proof than usual. I don't imagine the experts are going to be up to that level of standard.
You know who my favourite expert was? And I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, but he was the guy who looked at the stars from Italy, the Italian one, and was like, yes, no, that doesn't make sense, but it would have made sense in this year. So that's when it was created. I like that.
Yeah, that was fun. And they like a good excuse to travel abroad.
I wonder where they'll go this time.
Well, I mean, they've been all over.
Back to the UK!
They went to Royston in the UK, and that was fun.
Yeah, it's quite close to home.
But yeah, it's just fun because they've been all over. They've even been to like Holland, I think, and Portugal and Italy.
Scotland, they went to Scotland.
Yeah, they went to Scotland. They just go everywhere. They haven't been to like South America. Maybe they'll go check out the Aztec stuff.
They have been to South America.
Have they? Are you getting confused maybe with Blind Frog? Because they're very Aztec-y.
Yeah.
This is the problem with watching all of these shows. Yeah. We even watched the Pirate Gold of Adak Island. Oh, so shame that's not coming back.
That was really good.
Well, it turns out it's quite difficult to dig if your entire island is covered in old munitions.
Yeah.
And everyone's leaving the island.
Yeah.
No, that's a shame. That was a fun one. We should watch that again sometime.
But it was only 2 seasons.
Was it 2?
Or 1.
I think it was 1, yeah. I love that they had one guy who was the mayor and bomb disposal expert and ran everything. I'm like, wow.
Welcome to a tiny community.
I'm also the presenter of this show and everything. I'm like, that man is busy. I mean, he's only got like 3 people on his island, so it's basically he's the only one that wanted to be mayor. I love it. But that is a massive tangent. So... sorry for us being on hiatus for so long. We just,
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
We had the summer. We've had kids' birthdays. We've been busy.
Yeah, so, we're back. We're planning for the time being to do Oak Island every week until Death in Paradise has its Christmas special.
Yeah, and at some point we might finish Gavin and Stacey season 2.
Yeah. We'll do what we like and you'll love it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thanks for coming back to us.
Yeah, and... hang on a minute, Ben. What are you going to rate this episode of Oak Island?
Oh, crikey. Oh, this was a good, solid... I'm going to go with 4 questionable theories out of 7.
Okay.
Which is probably about as high as Oak Island episodes go. It'll only go higher if they start throwing divers into unreasonably dangerous situations.
Yeah, that was good. They make for good telly.
We need peril. Or that one time where they... had a diver stick his head, dive in the mud, but they were just stood over him in the mud and he was floundering at their feet. And I'm like, that is the funniest nonsense I've ever seen. What about you?
My rating isn't dissimilar. It's 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
It's a good start, but come on, need a little bit more.
Yeah, we need more outlandish theories. We need bigger
Or maybe
holes.
what I need is a little bit less. I think their normal, 40 minutes of content is better because I was getting a bit... my mind was starting to wander and that's why I don't remember all those things you were saying. What
a stunning but telling revelation. Is I could have done with less of this and it would have felt better.
Yeah. I was tired. I had a busy day.
And Oak Island made you more tired.
Yeah, but at the where we normally finish at the sort of the 40-minute content point, I was still there, and then it just carried on.
So what we're saying is it's not quite a Bobby Dazzler, but it might be erring towards top pocket find.
Yeah.
In the lingo. And on that note, that's all, folks.
So thank you so much for listening. We've had fun recording. We hope you've enjoyed listening, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Toodles.